hopefully I am better heard or heard. Happy 2026, every guy. Okay, yeah. Happy 2026, every pony. In my time zone, it's currently 12:36 in the morning, January 1st, 2026. I hope we're all very excited for the new year. I hope everyone is so far having a good new year or has some pretty good New Year's resolutions or anything. In this stream, I'm going to be making some new art stills because the one I am currently using of my character with the iPad is very outdated. And I don't want to use my regular little one, so I'm going to make a regular little one, and then I'm going to make a little iPad and stuff. But the reason I have two different things in the corner, one of them is just for color references. Well, both of them are for color references and everything. And the one that has like this extremely low opacity is that one is like the one I used when I did a Minecraft stream a couple months back. That was really low quality. For some reason my game was laggier than everything. But we're gonna draw some new stuff for this year to use for my little PNG tuber guy. And I'm very excited. This year I'm hoping to make even better art, like improve a little bit more, and hopefully get this comic and like little thing that me and my current girlfriend are doing up off the ground. I'm also hoping to start testosterone this year and maybe start working out. Today's YouTube videos that we are gonna watch, we'll have playing in the background, are Jake Monroe, The Incredibly Satisfying Downfall of the OG quote-unquote goth YouTube star by Riley Elania, I think. I feel like I pronounce her name different every time. I'm sorry. And Lily Orchard, A Rabbit Hole of Depravity by June the King. And maybe we'll have a couple more videos playing in the queue in the background. I think today I might actually have the volume up a little bit louder so you may be able to properly hear the videos I am listening to. I have an incredibly smart idea real quick. I have a very smart idea. This totally isn't going to get me in trouble. I really hope it doesn't get me in trouble. I'm going to add a little thing in the corner, like a small little window of whatever video I'm watching. And I'm going to test it out, and see if it sounds good. I don't want it to not sound good. And you can wait, okay. I'm going to... I'm sorry if the video itself is hard to see. I don't want it taking up too much of the screen, so I made it very, very small. And I'm going to play it, and I'm going to see if there's any audio coming from it at all via the stream. And if not, I'll create a new thing to fix that.
I haven't worn it since, but I'm wearing it today. I got some new posters, and I did a little bit of rearranging with some of the posters. I haven't worn it since, but I'm wearing it today. I got some new posters, and I did a little bit of rearranging with some of the posters.
Okay, it picks up the audio just fine. I just fear it may be a little loud. I think I'm going to turn the volume down a little bit. Picks up the audio just fine. I just fear it may be a little loud. I think I'm going to turn the volume down a little bit. I'm going to try to figure out how to do that. Okay, I'm going to test, see how loud it is now. Start the video. I have like a purple guy cursor, so it's like genuinely really hard to restart the video. Okay, I'm gonna turn it up just a little bit more. It's a little too quiet. Okay, but okay, I think this will be pretty good for like the YouTube video in the corner. Oh, there we go. Okay. Right, we are going to actually start the video now, and hopefully I'm going to try to start drawing. My PNG is picking up the audio. Okay, I think it should be good now. I did not mean for my little character to do that. Sorry. I have a have a Dr. Pepper. I don't know if this is ASMR, if that's really bad, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop. Sorry. I think I'm gonna make like a base body, for the character with like an out, and then I'm gonna draw a couple like stills with outfits and different hair, because I'm sorry, I just realized what was playing on the fucking video is that a roast toy. I didn't realize. I'm sorry, I've never watched this video before, so I typically like skip all the is that a what is this? I don't know what she's being sponsored by. I can't properly hear it, but I typically skip the sponsored segments of YouTube videos just so I can get into an actual like deep dive of the oh, that's too far. Too far. I guess too far back? I very much apologize. I did not realize that she was going to be sponsored by that specific brand. I do hope I don't get in trouble. I really hope I do not get in trouble because I did not know. Like I said, I typically try to skip the sponsored segments of videos just in general, so that way I can get to the nitty gritty of whatever video I'm watching. Oops. Ooh, I don't like that. Oop, too big. I feel like my streams are like super uneventful because the majority of the time I am like locked in on whatever I'm doing, and there's like no real like audio or anything playing in the background, so it's really just like me very silently like drawing on an iPad with there being like no actual anything, which is why I decided to include like the YouTube video in the corner, because I think it's a really good idea to just kind of like have. I feel like when it comes to like my art streams, I feel like the only real people I could like attract with these are like people who just kind of enjoy something simple to play in the background rather than to actually fully engage with, because I don't think I'm super like talkative unless something like interesting is happening in my life or I have like something interesting to say. Because half the time when I'm talking, there's nothing happening on the screen. Like, I'm not actually drawing. But if I'm not talking, then like oh, sorry. That I'm like genuinely just kind of locked in. There's no sound. Oh, I was talking earlier. I was talking about how like I was just gonna make like a base for the body and then like sketch up a couple hairstyles and stuff for the character, because like my still excuse me, I'm so sorry. This is because at the moment I have purple hair and my roots are showing because I dyed my hair actually like back in August before I went in for my job interview and before I actually started working at Wally World, the marked wall, if you will. And I dyed my hair purple, so I guess kind of everyone's known me with like the purple hair because I dyed my hair and I went in the interview and I got the job, and then yeah, so I came in with purple hair. And I currently have a box of brown hair dye, so soon I'm going to dye my hair brown. And I also have it styled in the middle part with my old still. This one I'm using right now has like a blonder, darker blonde, kind weird brown kind of shade, which is sort of similar to like my natural hair color nowadays. But my hair is not this length. And I also just don't really identify with this kind of furry thing. But this is generally like the only proof I can find that these art stills exist right now. So I'm never gonna delete it because it is pretty cute and I do like using it. But my hair is a lot less fluffy and it's definitely shorter for the most part. So I typically switch my hairstyles between like this middle part and then like a side part. It's like it's not a constant switch. For like multiple months I will have a side part and then I will switch back to a middle part and then for whatever reason I switch back to the side part. Like honestly, it kind of depends. I typically don't even remember why I switch over or even like exactly when. But I started my job with a side part and then I switched at some point to a middle part again and I started going insane. I feel like every time I have like a middle part in my hair, I'm genuinely going insane. Like, I feel like I'm constantly going insane. I feel like I only pay attention to my life when I have a middle part for some reason, and I don't know why. Like, what is, like, guys, what is going on? The neck is too thin. I don't like it. I did not mean the blur tool. I meant the eraser tool. These streams are really funny because you can just kind of see like my slightly awkward like art process. Where I'm just kind of like, yep, I'm gonna do it this way. I'm gonna do it like this.
I need to get a big stretch because my back is starting to hurt. Oh, and my iPad just fell.
Okay. My back is mostly okay. Mostly. And I dropped my iPad again. It like hit like the base of my my laptop. I didn't mean to press that button. Oh, I didn't mean to press that. I keep accidentally pressing like the most random buttons, and I'm like, oh, I don't need to use those. It's like the opposite of what I want. And then I think it's my turn to do a doodle. think this is coming out pretty good so far. I think it was generally a very smart idea to kind of like just make a base and like a couple hairs and stuff. So if I ever change my hair or my hair color again in the future, I can just, you know, also, if you haven't picked up, excuse me, I apologize. If you haven't picked up, my YouTube video is at like 1.75 speed. I don't know, one day I like decided to turn the speed up on a video, and I found that I thought the video was funnier with the higher speed. And then I realized that I could watch multiple videos, like longer videos in a row about stuff that I liked. And having it at a faster speed kind of keeps my attention. Because if it's really slow, then I'm like, this is boring. There are a variety of videos that I tend to watch either on the regular speed or at a lower speed. Like, I speed it up, but it's not super, super, like, fast. Like, one video that I rewatched multiple times in 2025 that I thought was the funniest shit, and I still do. It's actually a very comforting video for me. Is Chazington's like FNAF plush video where he talks about like FNAF plush channels. I genuinely think that video is so fucking hilarious. Like my Discord status is literally, well, technically it's not specifically a Chazington reference because it's a clip from a video, I think Froaky's World. Yeah, like the Froakyverse is from one of Froaky's videos where he has William Afton say, I want to make sure I get this quote perfectly. And I'm going to try to say it just like how he does, like in the video. But I thought this was so funny because like the video like at a higher speed is like genuinely like makes everything funnier to me. But the quote of my Discord status is technically from the Chazington video, but it's technically because it's not made by, like, the clip wasn't made by Chazington. It's from, like, the Froaky channel. But it's just, it's a gift I got from a different dimension. Yeah. It's a filet-o-fish. It's actually a really good sandwich from McDonald's. Like, he says it in this specific way, and genuinely, I'm not even kidding, it tears me up just about every single fucking, time. It's specifically because, like, the William Afton impression and the context of the clip, it just makes it funnier to me. Because I think it's in relation to the, Damian Simmons and the purple guy. But I genuinely find this video so fucking funny. Like, one of my favorite clips, ever is literally the, being your average size is really nice. Hey, what do you say we go get Denny's for breakfast? Like, that one fucking clip. My favorite thing to get from McDonald's is the Big Mac. I agree. Andrew John 100 is the most important channel on YouTube. I used to watch Andrew John 100 all the time when I was a kid. Like, when I was younger, and super into, like, FNAF SFMs and, like, plush videos, because I started watching, like, plush videos back when I was living in Germany, because, my dad and my mom, like, my dad, when he was just my mom's boyfriend, he was stationed there, so, they took me and my sister with them to Germany, and I would get on, like, the family Mac computer, not MacBook, but just, like, the family Mac, and I would go to youtube.com on Safari and just, like, watch, like, Sonic plush videos, Mario plush videos. Like, that's all I would watch most of the time. Other than, like, animations and LPS videos and, like, Monster High stuff. And then eventually gaming videos. But, I would literally just watch plush videos all the fucking time. So, I think that's why Chazington's video kind of resonates with me, because a lot of the stuff that she featured in the video I had seen at some point in the past. For the most part. I've never watched Puggos, because I stopped watching, like, FNAF plush videos when I was sometime in middle school. Although I genuinely do want to start watching videos like that again. But, like, his video inspired me to go back and start watching them again every so often. But that video generally tears my ass up because the way he edits it, where he just like keeps replaying a random clip. Like, let's see what. Freddy is like 7 years old here. Genuinely the funniest fucking video on the planet. I think we need to protect Chasington at all costs. For real. I'm so for real. It's incredibly important that nothing ever happens to this channel. But, yeah. It is. I've been streaming for roughly only 53 minutes. Wow, I've only been streaming for 53 minutes so far. Not horrible. I'm actually, I think compared to like the drawing I did for the last stream, which was technically on the 30th, so 2 days ago now. Actually, yeah, I think, yeah, like 2 or so days ago. No, it was the 29th, I think. It was the 29th. I can't remember the exact date, sorry. But, I was doing a redraw, essentially, of my character Alfred Veselovsky. And the first stream, I, like, had gotten barely anything done. Because I was too busy, talking, like, the entire time. And then when I streamed again on the 30th, no, it was like later that same day, actually. So it was technically like the same day, just one was in the early hours of the morning and one was a couple hours, like in the night after I got off of work. So it was technically on the same day. Sorry. I'm actually so stupid. But like the first stream, I like got almost nothing done. Like just like the sketch, but then I kept taking forever and I got a little bit of line art before my MacBook had died because I was too busy talking to realize that it had died. And then I finished the line art, the coloring, the back. I basically finished the rest of the drawing in a shorter time period, I think. And still finished it before like the early morning hours. Oh, I lost my train of thought. I got locked in on drawing again. Oh my gosh, I haven't talked about work yet. I've been streaming for almost an hour and I haven't uttered anything about my New Year's Eve shift. I haven't talked about anything about it. So, okay. I'm going to talk. So, it wasn't actually crazy, but if you were here for my last stream, so technically my stream on the 30th, my late night stream on the 30th, not the early morning one, the late night stream. I was talking about the day I had. So on the 30th was crazy for people who were not there for that stream. The 30th was a little bit crazy. We were supposed to have okay, let me try to better summarize it. Essentially, we had no one from management clocked in at all that day. Like for the front end where I work the front end at Walmart. So I do the cash register, I run returns, like stuff like that. I have not worked in customer service or the money center yet, so but basically the team leads that we had on the schedule that day. Oh well, I came in a little bit late, so I have no idea if the first team lead was there and then she like left at her regular time or not. I could be entirely wrong, but the other team lead who was supposed to close that night was not there. My front end coach was not clocked in either. Basically our managers for the day were swapped between I think two employees, both of which who I've closed with and worked with for a while. But that's just regular associates were essentially our managers yesterday, and we had coaches from other departments and our the big boss store manager coming out to help in the front end because it was very crazy. It was very crazy that day. And I left at 9. We didn't have a lot of people closing because I don't think people who aren't managers can technically be like, hey, can you stay late? Please stay late because we don't have enough people closing. Because our team leads don't technically work the schedules. Our coaches work the schedules, and then upper management and stuff go above the coaches and sometimes fix the schedules. But if you're having a schedule issue, you go to the team lead. The team lead typically goes to the coach, and you usually get your schedule fixed and stuff like that. For the most part, at least I think that might be how it works. I could be entirely wrong, but so it was a little crazy, and it was really, really busy for the majority of the day when we got there. It was really crazy, super long lines. But today was actually a little bit of the opposite. So we had our proper team leads today. We had both of them here. Our coach was not clocked in. I don't believe so, or if he was, he just never came out to see what we were doing or anything, because I hadn't seen him at all today. And sorry, but we did have our team lead. We had a team lead close tonight. We had both the team leads who were supposed to come in today come in. So, and for New Year's Eve, it wasn't as crazy as you would probably expect. I clocked in at 2 p.m. When I came into work, I just went straight to the break room because I wasn't needed for 12 or so minutes. So I sat in the break room for 12 minutes, clocked in, walked down to the front end, and there was a huge line and only 2 people on register. So it was a huge line, and I was on the register most of the day. But after a little bit, not too long, the line and everything just essentially evaporated. By the end of the night, there were actually not that many people. There were plenty of people who were rushing to try to check out after we had closed and pulled our tills and everything. That's just because those people were, for the most part, kind of messing around rather than actually trying to come to check out. Which, if you don't, we didn't close early or anything today. We had our regular hours, and we're open again today. The first. I just happen to be off today and tomorrow. For the most part, because we only close on Thanksgiving and Christmas, I believe. But it was actually really damn near empty by 8 p.m. And the people who did come in typically went straight to the self-checkouts. They didn't typically go to the registers. Which isn't a huge deal. It's just mildly annoying for the 2 people or so that are on the registers. it can be very hard to keep yourself entertained and making yourself look busy when there's almost nobody for a very long period of time. Because if you're on a register and you come off, somebody might just decide to go up to your register like, hey, I want to register, and now you have to come back, but you can't just kind of sit there and play on your phone or anything. So it could be a little annoying. I was on the register for the most of the day. I was on the register before my first break, after my first break, and before my lunch, after my lunch, for a little bit, and then I covered the pharmacy side, like on the sale. I got on the sales floor on the pharmacy side to cover, and then I helped shut it down, and I zoned it a little bit, and then I ended up being on the floor for the rest of the night, mainly because I didn't want to get back on a register, and I managed to succeed in that. I managed to succeed in not getting back on a register for the rest of the night. But it wasn't a horrible day. The team lead who I was closing with, unfortunately, she was a little sick, but she was still like doing her best to be like happy-go-lucky and stuff. She's so freaking funny. I love messing with her, and she loves messing with us. But by the end of the night, you know, it wasn't horrible. Honestly, not super bad. I was just very exhausted and ready to go home. So today actually wasn't horrible. The sales floor and everything was pretty clean. There wasn't like really any products left out. Everything was like grabbed and put into the buggies in the customer center or like in the bins in the very back. So it wasn't a mess. Yeah, it was honestly not horrible. It was just like during the day, it was just a little bit busier than you would expect a Wednesday at Walmart to be, considering people were like still like going to work and everything. So you're like, oh, it's a little bit busier than I would expect for it to be in like the early afternoon on a Wednesday at Walmart. But that was only for a bit, and then the rest of the night it was pretty dead. And there was luckily nobody really jinxed. Nobody really jinxed it, and we didn't end up having any huge rushes or anything. I was really grateful, but I was also kind of worried because typically the day before, like specific holidays, tend to be a little crazy. But I think everyone for the most part was at like the giant firework hut in the parking lot of our work. I wish I got off at 10. One of my favorite coworkers was getting off at 10. But and it was mainly because I just didn't want to close because I was already tired and it was an 8 hour like just 8 hours, and I just like didn't have the social battery because for some reason like the day before I have a day off. I tend to like lose energy pretty fast throughout the night, and then I'm like, I want to go home. I don't want to be here anymore. Just like standard whining like a baby kind of thing. But yeah, work wasn't horrible. I didn't get yelled at or anything. I didn't really have any rude customers. I had a couple customers that gave me a little bit of attitude, but it wasn't really that bad. So yeah, I would say a pretty good day. At least like as good as a day you can get, like doing an 8-hour closing shift at the Wall World. Okay, this looks pretty good so far. I'm pretty happy with this. Pretty happy with it.
I'm saying this as an amateur, no prior experience with filming, editing, or any of that, and as a YouTuber who's only been YouTuber for 3 years. I literally make hours-long cut videos in my bedroom with an off-brand camera, simple microphone. Shout out to Baby Jerome, he actually DM'd me, you can see my channel and everything, that microphone using all the VOD shit, and you can see my channel, so and doing all the editing, research, and uploading on my brother's gaming laptop, not his actual laptop, I think that is, and I mean, it does work, you know, it's not something, but it does work. My point is, what do you mean? You need
enjoying the art process so far. I think it's coming out pretty good. I think these stills I might end up liking a lot more than the old ones. I suddenly have 3 more viewers. I was not paying attention to my stream manager, and I realized that I had like a short jump in viewership, and they are not gone. I acknowledge it out loud and they disappear. No, that's fine. I think this looks really nice so far. Excuse me. Sip on my Dr. Pepper. Okay. I finished my Dr. Pepper. It was delish. I need more back support. My back is hurting again, and I don't want it to hurt. That's like the thing. I don't want it to be in pain. I don't want to have back pain. Cause ouch, youch, youch. Move my phone over to the side a little bit. Switch how I'm laying. I really hope y'all don't hear super loud wrestling for me shifting around. Okay, I'm pretty comfy now. I really hope this, there we go. I think it's pretty comfy, yeah. Pretty comfy cozy. Okay, I'm going to try to draw the face. Hope it doesn't look too dumb. Oh, I need to do the glasses. I was trying to do like the regular face when I needed to do the glasses. Where are his glasses? He can't see without his glasses. Oh. Oop, no. I don't have palm rejection on, so this stylus will work. So I'm really hoping I don't accidentally have like some random little dot sitting somewhere. I think that might be a little awkward. I also, if I have the energy on after I finish all these stills, I might actually redraw, I think one of the first drawings from 2025 that I had made. I'll have to find it and like go see the process of it so I can try to capture the original. Because I remember, I think it was like a lasso tool test thing, maybe? I could be entirely wrong. Because I remember at least at some point, like the lasso art was like trending a couple times last year. And I do know that I attempted it, I think, November 2024? Yeah, it was November 2024 when I first attempted it. And it did not look good. I mean, it wasn't horrible. I just kind of don't like the drawing that much. Not that it's bad. The drawing isn't exactly bad. It's just like, I was, for some reason, for like multiple years in a row, it's typically like August all the way through November is when I'm like struggling a bit with like an art style and like an aesthetic I want to push. And you can usually like see the very stark difference in my artwork from like those time periods, I would say, like, but usually, and I'm saying usually because it's like, for me, it's a pattern that seems prominent. I don't know if I dealt with that last year. I can say that now. It's 2026. I can say last year in reference to 2025. But I was struggling a lot with art last year. I barely hit over 100 drawings. And a lot of the stuff on DeviantArt that I have in my 2025 folder is like one drawing, just multiple versions of it. But I think I bumped it up significantly with the last couple drawings I did during the year. But you can, like, if you look on my DeviantArt and you look at all like the folders I have of my art categorized by years, you can like see such a huge stark difference between like how much art I had made based on how passionate I was and how much time and how much free time that I had. And I'm not saying I didn't have a lot of free time last year or in 2024 that caused like such a stark difference in how much I drew. I don't really know. I was just doing a bunch of other stuff 99% of the time. I don't really like talking about 2023 and like a good chunk of 2024 and a little bit of last year. There's like a bunch of stuff that like it's not triggering. It's just like some like weird part of my life where I'm just kind of like, ooh, yucky, 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 yucky. I don't like that. I think I definitely, like, looking back on how I acted 2023 especially, I feel like that was like my downward spiral that led me to this moment now. And I think that's a little funny because can you imagine if I had acted any differently in 2023, if maybe in some alternate timeline I would not be working at Walmart right now or doing an art stream at nearly 2 a.m. in the morning. I think that's a little funny. I love imagining what I would be doing with my life if I had just made slightly different choices in my past. It's not specifically in the sense that, oh, I regret making this very specific decision nowadays and I want to go back in time and fix it. It's more so, wow, imagine if I chose to do something else instead of act this specific way or say this specific thing or do this specific action. How different would things be now? Because even if I made a lot of mistakes or if I simply was just involved with things that I don't exactly want to know, that I don't exactly want to be known for being involved in, like, I still appreciate those experiences in a sense that it did teach me a lot of things. I think one of the most important things about growing up is that you have to understand that you are going to make mistakes and you are going to be in the wrong in some situations, and some of your actions aren't exactly going to be forgivable, understandable, or even morally correct, even if they are understandable and people defend your choice in making it. Even if you don't have negative intentions, sometimes your choices are going to have a negative impact and are going to come off a specific way. And I think that's super important to understand, because 2024, I think, was my year of understanding that you were not going to be a victim in every situation that you were in. You were not constantly a victim of other people. Having a negative experience with somebody, regardless of how negative that experience is, if it's just like something small, like, oh, I didn't realize you were a Zionist, Trumpy, and then like, there's a difference between, oh, this person is a Zionist Trumpy and they just expressed their views to me, I don't want to hang out with them anymore. And then there's, wow, this person I'm talking to is incredibly selfish, manipulative, and very hard to talk to, and they aren't very kind to me. Like, I'm not a victim of my ex-friends. I wouldn't say that some of my ex-friends are horrible, evil people that can never be redeemed. Or that, oh, I'm victims of their behavior, or I'm a victim. And I cut off somebody last year. I cut off somebody for the second time because we had gotten back in contact. And I still actually kind of think highly of this person. I think that they had pretty good OC stories. They had incredible art, and they were incredibly loyal for the most part. They were actually very loyal and very nice friend to have. But they just had a very bad habit of kind of repeating behavior over and over and over again and exhibiting specific behaviors a lot. That just kind of kept happening, and it felt kind of like a cycle with them. It kind of just felt like I was constantly going through a cycle, or that they were constantly cycling through things over and over again. And I decided to end the friendship for kind of that reason, where I was just kind of like, yeah, I feel like this person is constantly stuck in a cycle, and I can't really trust them at this moment in time, and all of that. And I spent a couple days kind of reflecting on some things, and I could contact. And this person had gotten very, very mad at me at that time. They were very, very angry. So they were like, "You're not a victim. You're not always a victim." And at that point, I had kind of already realized that. I kind of already realized, like, I was going through the process of realizing and kind of understanding that I am not a victim in every situation, and that even really negative experiences aren't constantly being victimized, or being like, this person that is horrible, I'm gonna call them out, and I'm their victim. Refer to me as a victim. And so the last messages we had, which were like not too long after I had actually technically blocked this person in a couple like different places, really wasn't that bad, because I feel like I don't fully agree with how harsh I was um in my response to their really harsh kind of negative message, because they sent me a really harsh negative message. I can't remember if I responded to it or not, but I remember they reached on a different account that I had like known about before but kind of forgot about. And I can't remember if because I know I replied, I think, and I think I was still very negative to them. Not super in the sense that you're horrible, evil, but I'm kind of frustrated with the situation kind of thing. I could be entirely wrong, but like, I don't know. I do hope this person is doing good now, and that they are thriving. Because one of the last things I did say is that I do genuinely wish for the best for this person, because this person has amazing art, very unique stories, and is genuinely very skilled, and honestly, like, it is like not an evil horrible person. They are not an evil or horrible person. It just, I think maybe they just need some growth and everything, and I do appreciate all the things that they have done for me in the past, and then I do hope that they are doing okay now. But a lot of kind of like the reason I cut them off was also part of like this schizophrenic delusion that I have in regards to people in general. I'm not gonna fully say what it is on stream, but it does involve like specifically people that have cut me off or blocked me, or people that I have cut off or blocked, or had some sort of relationship in the past where they have done something to me negatively, or like we didn't have a very good friendship or anything, just something similar, or people that, like, especially if they have like connections, or like a lot of people that they are friends with, especially people that I don't specifically know or have ever had contact with. I have an eyelash on my iPad screen. I can't get it off. Okay, I got it off. But so like for like the sake of my own kind of mental state, I definitely I think I made the right choice, in the sense that the friendship probably wouldn't have lasted anyway. And if this person does ever reach out for anything, I will definitely not rekindle the friendship over, that. I think we are definitely best going our separate ways and existing separately. I think we can exist in like fandom spaces or Discord servers without drama, because this person, like I said, they aren't a horrible person, and I do miss them a lot. I do genuinely miss them a lot. But like, that was, I think, the only real drama or anything I had last year. Not a lot. Not a lot of crazy things happened to me last year, because I at that point had kind of cut contact or blocked or just didn't really talk to specific people that I had once been like very close friends with, so I didn't really have to deal with any type of drama, and I was doing my best to kind of focus on myself. I think the worst situation was like kind of like the thing I talked to, like I just like begged about a little bit previously, and then another kind of art drama situation that had happened either around the same time or sometime after, I can't remember. But like really early in the year, my mutual had found somebody who had copied like their OC's design, basically taking every piece of limited detail from the character for the most part, like colors included. Which I know color theft isn't a thing, but like if you, but the difference is that this character had very little traits to it, and all those traits, it plus the colors from the character were like directly copied. And both of these people were like inspired by the same artist. We all follow like the same artist, and my mutual at the time had just like kind of, I think, messaged them privately either on Twitter or on DA. It was like, hey, would you like be okay with potentially changing a couple aspects of my character design, because I'm pretty sure this, like, the person who had copied them followed me and followed my mutual at the time. And originally the response was like, oh yeah, I'm so sorry, yeah, I'll just change a couple things, like, and then that person kind of had a meltdown and they deleted all the art of their character and was like making vague posts, and then went from kind of like this sad, I'm a horrible person, I could never draw my OC again, to these people are evil and they're annoying. And it turned into a really bad back and forth where the kind of my mutual was just kind of like I don't really know what's going on, I just really didn't want you to copy all the small aspects of my character in their design. Like, I know that my character is inspired by the same artist that we follow, but my character is still very unique compared to their that person's current design, and your characters like even took the smallest details, and I just kind of really appreciate it if you would just redesign it a little bit. And the other person was just kind of like trying to go really ham on this idea that they could do whatever they want, and they kind of encouraged other people to be rude about it, including to, so those people ended up making characters just basically also trying to copy the OC, and it eventually all got resolved pretty peacefully. But I was kind of looking on a little bit and kind of commenting on a couple of my mutuals posts talking about how like being like, oh man, this really sucks, like I don't understand why people would do this, and nobody told them they had to do this, kind of stuff like that. And I just decided to block the person who had like who had initially stolen the design for my mutuals like OC. And like that person followed me, but I was just kind of like, yeah, I don't really like this behavior, I don't really appreciate it, like seeing it, I think I'm gonna block, because honestly I'm allowed to block whoever I want to block, and if I don't like somebody's behavior online, whether they follow me or not, I am very much allowed to block you. I'm allowed to block people if they are being mean, I'm allowed to block people if they're being nasty, or if they're just being annoying. I block people all the time for dumb stuff. I've blocked people on Twitter because I didn't like their design for a character that I really liked. Like, never interacted with them other than seeing that and being like, oh, I don't like this, I'm gonna block. Because that's like the whole point of the block button, is that I don't want to see this, and I don't want this person ever interacting with me. But this person genuinely is very, very upset that I have them blocked to this day, and I don't fully understand why. I don't think I'm that interesting, personally. But this person then sought me out on DA and tried to follow me after I had blocked them. Essentially, I blocked them, and then eventually they blocked me back, and then they unblocked me. And they made a couple posts vaguing about me, like, blocking them, including when I blocked them on DA after they tried to follow me. And then they came up in my TikTok profile views, and I don't know if they followed me through there, I can't remember, but I just remember blocking the TikTok account. And then I, at some point last year, I had made like an update to my account where you have to be like 15 or older, mainly because some of my mutuals are like around 15, and I had them like before I made this new account and moved to it. And I was like, well, I want my mutuals to follow me, and I want to follow my mutuals, and I don't want like people being weird. So I think when my mutual starts turning 16, I'm gonna be like, yeah, sorry, this account is mainly 16 plus or something like that. But right now it's 15 plus, and this person turned 15, and they had like a post literally putting my full username out there, like, can I follow now? And I don't think this person fully understands why I have them blocked, but they did make another post at some point. I did see, unfortunately, where they were trying to make it seem as if I had blocked them for some evil, petty reason. But the whole reason I blocked them is because I just didn't like their attitude and their treatment of my mutual. I didn't really like that behavior. I didn't agree with it, and I didn't really want people who like would act like that to interact with me. And like it's always such a petty situation. It's really not that big of a deal. But I'm already like pretty. I'm a very. I would say I'm a very paranoid person. So I'm kind of like, I don't really like it. And I can tell this person does stalk my social medias because they quite literally sent me a straw page ask, like name dropping themselves, being like, what did this specific person do so I can block them? And I'm pretty sure it was them because it didn't really sound like one of my only mutuals on Twitter who follow them. And like it's like I said, it's not that big of a deal to me. Like it's not one of those things where it's like, if you follow this person, you are horrible and evil, because I didn't really talk about the situation to many other people. And when I did, it was just kind of me looking back on a situation, and I never name dropped anybody, but I did make a post on my spam account where I was like, I was just kind of like venting a little bit. I can't remember the exact words, but it was less like angry. I didn't even name drop. I just kind of talked about how I thought that was like a little bit concerning. And I really didn't like the specific behavior that was being shown to me, and that was kind of like it for the most part, in the sense of that. And then they proceeded to make a post about me. Like somebody blocked me over a situation that they weren't even involved in, and I'm like, well, I mean, I'm allowed to block you for any reason I want, for any reason at all. And this person, I don't like, because this person's a teenager, and I don't think they're evil. I don't think they're a bad person, and they're very obviously do have some like mental health issues going on and everything. Like this person's art is very good. They have very fun looking OCs. They seem very like, they're not a bad person by any means of the sort. And I do just think this is like a mental health issue kind of thing, and kind of like a lot of teenagers, including how I acted when I was like a teen, where it's like this inherent feeling of anger and wanting to be petty and start drama and stuff because you want attention for what it, or you just like genuinely feel like you need to start something for whatever reason. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, but I think other people who have felt similarly probably know what I'm talking about. But I went through something similar, but I do know in their bio they had like, damn, I've really fallen off, and in the past they had a couple posts talking about how they don't get a lot of interaction and stuff anymore. So it could perhaps just it could just be perhaps like them maybe wanting attention or wanting to find a way to try to get more interaction onto their page for like whatever reason, like whatever means necessary or anything, which I'm not really gonna play in. I'm never gonna name drop this person, like, because at the end of the day, this is just like a teenager who really just really wants attention in some way, shape, or form, whenever they feel like it. Because I know sometimes even I, like, especially when I was like around their age, a little bit younger and sometimes a little bit older, where I would be going through like moments in life where I'd just have like a lot of stuff going on, where I'd be like, oh, I'm drawing a lot, oh, I'm really talking a lot with my friends and stuff, oh, I'm constantly busy with something, like with just about whatever, and then randomly I'm going through maybe a depressive episode or a mental health spiral, or I'm suddenly having way more free time, or just not doing a lot of stuff that I used to do, and then suddenly I'm like thinking back to some random situation, and then like suddenly now all my feelings for something that I did not care about for like months ago, or like even a week ago, or like whatever, suddenly I'm super invested in it and I desperately want closure to do something with it, or to rant about it, or like whatever. Like I feel like that's kind of like a normal thing that like occasionally happens, especially with like mentally ill teenagers. I think that's actually, at least in my opinion, that might be actually pretty common, because I've known plenty of people who do that, and it's very clear that might just be happening with this person. And I do genuinely hope that things are going good for this person. Like, I have no genuine, like, I have, like, I really don't have any hatred or anything, or even, like, a huge issue with this person. I just desperately would love to be, like, left alone. Like, I don't, like, when I block people, it's very rare that I ever unblock them. The only times I ever really unblock people is because I completely forget who they are. And, like, just, I'm like, oh, well, I don't really know why I blocked you, so I guess I'll unblock you. Or kind of like, oh, this person's account isn't active at all, they're never on it. It's like, I don't, like, really care. Or I'm kind of like, I don't, or it's kind of like, I don't really care too much about this, person. I'm just gonna mute them because I know that they're never gonna interact with me or start anything, so there's no point in, like, giving them the satisfaction of seeing a block, because I know a lot of people specifically want to see that they are blocked. They want to see that somebody has blocked them for whatever reason, whether they just really don't like this person and they're like mad and they want some comfort. Like, some people are like, if you have me blocked, like, if this person blocks me on this account or for whatever reason, I can feel vindicated in my feelings of hatred for something that happened over a year ago, kind of thing. I don't know how to describe it, but some people get, like, some weird satisfaction when they see that they've been blocked by a specific person for any reason. And one of the best things, at least for me, is because I know these people aren't going to interact with me. I know, like, a lot of the people that I unblock, I just mute their accounts because I'm not going to interact with them. And I'm fairly sure if they see me and they recognize me, they're not going to interact with me. Or if they do end up interacting with me by accident and then go, oh shit, wait, I think this is so and so, then they just immediately take that interaction back and either put me on the block list or, like, mute me. Like, stuff like that. So I tend, like, unless I never ever want to see content related to specific creators, or I'm trying to send a message of, hey, don't interact with me, or just for whatever reason. Sometimes I keep people blocked permanently, sometimes I don't, especially if you're, like, very obviously wanting to interact with me in some way, shape, or form, or will interact with me, or immediately notice that I've unblocked you and immediately start trying to interact with me and everything. I like, if I know you're going to do that, or I have a feeling you're going to do that, I typically put you on the block list. But yeah, I don't think I had really a lot of drama or any type of, like, situations in 2025. I think I curated my space pretty well. Like, any of the beef I have with, like, people is kind of just, like, for the most part, like, my sister's exes who broke her heart. Like, that's my baby sister, how dare you treat her like shit, like, how dare you act this way, kind of thing. So it's mainly just, like, the real world and stuff. And I don't really have any work drama either. I don't think I'm a very I need to start drama at work type of person, because I don't. I just kind of want to do my job. But yeah, I definitely don't think I really had any drama in 2025 compared to the last couple years before that. I think I did a very good job curating my space and trying to learn and grow as a person. And honestly, 2024 was a very wild ride for me. I had a lot of issues and stuff going on, both, like, in the real world and online. And ultimately, I don't think I regret any of the choices I made in 2024 for the most part when it comes to online stuff. Making a Twitter thread about my ex, I do low-key regret, because it started a lot of drama and kind of made things worse for me for a while. And there are just maybe some things now I probably would have taken out. But I had a lot of drama thrown my way because of that thread, and then a lot of internal fighting in the friend group. I definitely probably wouldn't be as much of a doormat as I was. So I think I don't regret cutting off anybody that I cut off. I don't regret blocking anybody that I have blocked, for the most part. I genuinely don't. I think some things I should have probably left alone, because I did find out that that year that a mutual of mine had blocked me, and I was a little confused because I hadn't really done anything, we hadn't really talked, but I found that they blocked me, and I was devastated and then angry. And then I remember I sent them a message on D being like, oh, you're not gonna be the one to cut me off, I'm gonna be the one to cut you off. Like, that's just cringe. Like, just let it go. Like, don't act like that. Just let it go. I wish I never sent that DA note, but, I mean, I don't think they saw it because they probably had me blocked on DA, but I don't know. But I do hope that person is doing well. But, sorry, there's like a pimple on my nose, and it's like, owie, owie, owie. Yeah, 2025 was actually pretty peaceful. I didn't really have any drama or anything, which I am genuinely super thankful for. I'm genuinely thankful that I had at that point cut off or like blocked people that I did not need in my life. I'm very glad that I did that the year prior for the most part. And that instead of like trying to turn everything into a spectacle or this person is evil and I'm a victim, I was just kind of like, yeah, I don't think this is working out, block. Or at least for like one person in the real world, just straight up block. I think the worst thing that happened to me last year was this interaction with this guy who I met working at Walmart. He doesn't work for Walmart anymore. That was a story I wanted to share in my early morning art stream from the 30th, but he follows me on Twitch and I can't block him. I can't block him. Not because I don't want to, but because how Twitch works, somebody needs to come into your Twitch chat for you to tap, and then you tap on their username and then you basically ban them. I don't think that bans them from like watching your streams. I think it just kind of bans them from like donating, subbing, talking in the chat. I don't really know how banning works, but I have him blocked on everywhere for the most part. And I'm not saying that he'd stalk me or anything, but or if he's active on Twitch and he's just sitting and watching my streams, I don't really know. But I'm not trying to start anything. I just kind of want to do a little story time, but I was like, it would be really awkward if I just like kind of did a little story time and like he was just watching. I didn't want to start anything. So I think I might either wait a while, but I'll probably forget about it. Like, it wasn't crazy, but it was just like very interesting, something I could talk about. But you know, it's whatevs. Not the worst thing in the world. I wasn't gonna name drop anybody or anything. Of course, I'm not dumb. I'm not gonna share anybody's names or usernames or anything. But like when I'm ranting about people and stuff, I never want to say their names or anything like that, because I don't want people trying to seek these people out. Like at the end of the day, I just kind of want to like share a story that I think might be interesting. Not that these people, it's not that these people are evil, horrible people, because they aren't. I don't really think people are evil, horrible, unless they kind of show that they are kind of unable to change. Because I've interacted with plenty of people who just repeat the same things over and over again, and then cutting them off or blocking them and like ending the friendship has helped me look back on like the majority of the situations that we both happen to be in together. And then I look at their behavior and how they act, and I'm like, yeah, no, this is a pattern, and this definitely isn't me being crazy. And I'm very thankful that I can do that. I don't know what the fuck I'm yapping about. I'm genuinely just kind of like speaking out of my freaking butthole right now about like literally nothing. Like, I don't even think I'm like being genuinely coherent either. Like, am I being coherent? Am I being coherent? Does anything I'm saying make any sense at all? Or do I just genuinely sound like a schizophrenic? starting to like genuinely pay attention to the video I'm watching, and like the person that she's discussing genuinely just sounds like a fucking schizophrenic, like some random white guy that went onto the poll board on 4chan or or perhaps maybe 8chan and just got seemingly radicalized. And then it's just kind of spewing a bunch of nonsense. Like they're talking out of their ass, trying to make themselves sound smart to kind of prove that all their little like left, like their little right-wing conspiracy theories are true. But they are very easily dismantled. And like I have like on multiple occasions had tried to kind of understand their point of view and see where they were coming from. And some things I can understand why, not in the sense that I understand their viewpoint, but more so in the sense I can see where they come to that, especially given like all the information and like where they get all their stuff from. And I'm like, no, I can kind of see why, not in the sense that I see why this person feels that way, but like not in the sense that I agree with them or that I think their opinion is valid, but more so in this like, okay, yeah, I can see how you came to that conclusion. I can kind of see why for some reason you think that that is, you know, the right way, even if it's not.
Not only does it not make sense, but I think he actually is unintentionally validating an argument that got basically right. So first he tries to say that God could not be. But then he says this.
Like, if with like the dumb sources that they have, and especially mental illness, people can very easily be radicalized to think a specific thing and view specific things. And negative behavior from the side that they are now opposing can also kind of lead them down that path for some reason. And I'm like, what do you mean people being normal is bad to you? But when you listen to like their talking points, they genuinely sound like they're talking out of their butt, because their thing is, guys, white people are oppressed now, it's proven, and then they don't actually explain how white people are oppressed now. And I'm sitting here because they're viewing it in the lens of a world where this apparent bigotry didn't exist anymore, like where people were they're like, well, people are nice to black people now and stuff. They're nice to these groups. These guys, they're able to vote and interracial marriage, and they recognize as people, and they have representation in media. That means all these problems are in the past, and they're just whining for no reason. Like, their perspective is that these groups got the bare bones of being treated human. They got the permission to be treated as human beings after not being treated as human beings for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. And now they're living in a society. Now they're living in a society where they're given that like bare bone privilege to be treated as a human. But since they're technically, for the most part, treated as a human, even if people are cruel to them and call them nasty names and betray them in nasty, horrible stereotypes, and are like racist and stuff to them, when they point out how deep this bigotry and oppression lies and how they are still being affected from this past oppression, the majority, the people in power who are keeping them oppressed, view this as bad because, well, you get the bare bone treatment of being a human being now, so you shouldn't complain about all this bad stuff. And so they start looking at every single like piece of privilege that they get, quote unquote piece of privilege, and their thought is, it's like, oh, well, now that they're being treated like people, I'm oppressed. Now that this person isn't oppressed, they have the power to oppress me, even though there are plenty of things structured in society and subconsciously taught to children that they are still inferior. Like, they view oppressed people getting the bare bones treatment of human beings and not treated as non-human, put in the corner, forgotten about kind of thing. If that makes sense. Since these people are no longer hidden away or are considered technically human beings now by like the law and the government, they believe that these people are privileged and suddenly have all the power to oppress them and are trying to oppress them and turn the majority, the oppressors, into the oppressed. And they have the fear that that these people, that the minorities are going to oppress, that they are going to gain power and specifically try to oppress and reverse the roles. Like, that's how it comes off to me. Like, these people genuinely believe that they are being oppressed, that they are being replaced, that they are being mistreated because of these things. And that it's a systemic issue, and that as human beings, we have to put them back, like the minorities, back into this oppressive state where they're being oppressed and not treated as people. That's what they want, like, and they want to do that. But in a lot of their minds, they think that they're doing the right thing and the good thing because of specific wording, which is kind of how a lot of this comes off to me, is that these people are easily manipulated because they already are lonely people. So I think it's a little silly. A lot of what they I feel like I didn't make any sense at all. Sorry. I feel like I genuinely just didn't make any sense when I said anything when I had said any of that. But the reason people hate the idea of woke stuff in media is because when people were actually trying to treat the woke stuff seriously to the point where they got quote unquote too woke, it turned a lot of people off, and they try to counteract with, oh, let's be bigots. These people are horrible, annoying, and so they kind of run with that narrative now. And I'm like, guys, I thought we grew up.
Jake got so triggered by this answer that he made a YouTube video response. And just within the last couple months, Jake has been this like he's still making the all the goth like content where he just sleeves like making political nonsense and plays not qualified. He's not in his usual self. He's been making these videos where he's either talking to himself or making that or this fake log cabin Republican podcaster type setup. Does this man not know how big it was? These are separate subreddits. Content marked as NSFW is not a media industry. You have to go out of your way. There is literally nothing preventing anyone from having a real conversation because of separate NSFW subreddits. But you're starting to enter boomer status. Also, we all know that Jake probably spends a lot of time in these subreddits researching for users. Let's just be honest. We all know he's doing it.
He's never wondering about everything. Everything else with him. Everyone, no consequences. And they're all being feminized, so-called begging for normal things, begging for a crumb. They insisted on a society of sensitive, soft, passive boys because that's what they thought they wanted. They despise these soft, feminist men. They hate these guys. They're none of this. Ew. Gross. That's disgusting. This is why I was in the subculture. That's the whole thing because no one's more feminized and soulfied than the men you find in the subculture.
No man is more feminized and soified than the men you find in alternative subcultures. Well, I guess it takes one to know one, Jake, doesn't it?
I'm stressed.
Wait, I'm gonna have a conversation. Just you and I. Okay, not even talking about others. It's not good. This is a pathetic answer. First of all, you do understand that the values that you are fighting for are things that you do not inform to or model, right? Like you do get that. I'm not trying to make God and right? Though they often say that don't identify as either that, it's not about research, it's not about political, they very strongly believe in upholding traditional gender roles, like traditional Christian, nationalistic gender roles. Which is why, even though they always say it aren't right thing, they always end up falling on the right thing and spectrum because that's just how they do it. You defy the exact values you are known for now. Risk process, risk progress, machinery, weights, platform shapes, which in some circles, especially in circles, they often consider skills. And was or is skills really attractive? You literally embody everything you become. Everything. And look, I don't think it relates to me because I'm going to put it as gender. I don't think that, but for argument's sake, let's just pretend it is since we are talking about this in the context of writers, right? Jake, these men will never accept you and only will use you. You claim you want to be goth and you
It's not like you're trying to angle yourself to be the god of the voting sphere. Well, I prefer God entertained, but I'll take that.
you could never in your life be an enemy. You don't have any. I'll tell you. I'll admit you don't have any. You will never see the success of this ever, ever. You just won't, and they will never exist. Which is what this is really about, right? Let's be real. I mean, sure, he's probably a big part of the traditional era. He's a lot more profitable. I'm sure that is a big part of why he's doing this. But actually, I think this is Jake's newest attempt at finding that sense of connection, finding that solid friend he liked to be on. He says he doesn't care for people anymore and he doesn't want friends, but I don't think that's true. I think he does still want to be close to us. And I think that's what this rift is about. And money is probably definitely part of it, but again, he has lots of friends in his life. He doesn't get close to him. He has to fan. Cat, the tattoo artist, right? So clearly it seems he has enough money to buy and travel and live somewhere now. I don't think he really needs it. I think money is always something to us. But I really do think this is just Jake's latest attempt at finding true capital. And you are going there, Jake. I'm sorry. Look, they know this. Maybe your face, I mean, maybe you'll get reached out podcast too, maybe, but they won't be your friends. Your bros, like pals. As soon as you walk away, they are making money. And honestly, they probably will be doing some kind of podcast. They tend to do that. I don't think again, you embody and represent everything to your members. What makes you think you will ever be accepted? You're not going to get it, and you're definitely going to do it right. And you'll be very unhappy. For the story, I want to bring it on to the positive insight. Like, really honestly, my hurt a little bit. I actually said to you, so I really feel that. This is a video that I'm really honestly going to be this is education law that he was on the child. And in this video, Jake goes to his hometown and he shows us how he's hot spots and all sorts of things. And he says in this
I think the reason a lot of cis men go from woke to conservative isn't because they find the truth or open their eyes and stop falling for propaganda. It's because they were the only reason that they were woke, quote unquote woke, and were left leaning was because they were hoping that they could get in the pants of anybody with a vagina. A lot of men, and not all men, of course, definitely not all of them, but a lot of men will go into left-wing politics hoping to get pussy out of it. A lot of the time, a lot of them are just trying to find anybody, not just specifically women, but a lot of them just go after anybody who is feminine looking or clearly has a vagina, and hopes that they can be woke enough to get into their pants. That's like the best way I can describe how most, like how a lot of cis men get into left politics, and then they don't get vagina or they don't get the pussy, and then so they decide that it's not worth it, and so they become a conservative, usually out of pettiness, but also because they hope that maybe being a conservative will get them some pussy or something. And you can always tell when somebody's being performative and how they're acting because they're trying to get something out of it that isn't specifically actually what their politics are, like, aiming for. And like I said, it's definitely not all men that act this way. There are plenty of men who are genuinely, you know, like left wing and follow left wing politics and, you know, all that type of stuff. But a lot of them have got to stop pretending and acting as if the only reason that they apparently view trans men as men is to hopefully win the heart of a transgender man so that way they can get pussy. I've interacted with plenty of guys like that, where it's kind of very obvious that they are desperately trying to win the heart of a trans man in order to get the closest thing that they will ever get to a vagina, because they want a good fuck, or they want the closest thing to a woman. Half the time when cis guys are getting with trans guys, they don't actually view the trans guy as a man. They respect the pronouns and use the name, but half the time they kind of discourage actually physically transitioning or doing anything to make that person masculine. Whether it be top surgery, bottom surgery, testosterone, voice training, haircuts, stuff like that. They'll be like, no, you look so good this way, or, oh, no, you look so masculine this way, I promise. Like, stuff like that. Or they try to pressure them into not doing specific things to make them more masculine. I can't stand most cis men. I can't. I just can't do it. I like it for the most part, not saying that this is the majority or that this is based on recentness, but a lot of the cis guys that I have interacted with in at least the most recent years were all very kind of performative and specifically viewed me as a woman and were very clearly interested in me, and I didn't like it. I have a lot of cis guy friends, both who are coworkers and both who I met in school that I still talk to, who have been nothing but awesome and respectful and are just cool as hell. I don't even know what I'm ranting about right now. I'm low-key just doing what the fuck ever. Oop. That's very pretty brown. It's been like a little over 2 hours and I'm still working on this. Oh my freaking gosh. I'm still working on this. Oh my god. This reminds me of like what I feel like the process of making a pick crew is like. Like you got your base, and then you got the 50 billion hairstyles and the 50 billion eye styles and the 50 billion of everything. I feel like I wanted to make a pick crew back in the day, but I low key don't think my iPad or anything could handle it because I'm at 23 layers right now, and that is just with like very few face options and stuff. Oh my gosh. Okay. We're gonna immediately draw like the roots. Oh my god, stop. This looks so stupid. Look at it. Bro, what? I just made some bullshit. Smile and the ribbon in my hair. A smile is something special. A ribbon is something rare. So I'll be special and I'll be a smile and a ribbon in my hair. I love it. Like it as in like Pennywise and stuff. I genuinely do. It came out when I was like in the 5th grade. So unfortunately, I wasn't like, because I was a little kid, so I wasn't super into horror like that yet, and it just kind of like it disturbed me. It did because I was a little kid, so naturally, of course, it was gonna disturb me. And I like refused to watch it for like multiple years. I was like genuinely frightened by like Pennywise and everything. I was like genuinely scared. And at the time, like as a kid, I probably wouldn't have understood a lot of the humor and understood a lot of the amazing parts about like the movie and everything like I do now. But I sort of got into it when I was like a teen. I loved like the Losers Club and stuff like that. And then, but I was like still at the same time just a lot more interested in the fandoms I was already in and the stuff that I had been in for like a while at that point. So I think like It's World, Country Humans, Five Nights at Freddy's, and Hetalia. That was kind of like my main thing throughout middle school and part of high school. Only a little bit of high school was I like interested in like Edgeworld and stuff. But I tried to get into like the Loser Club a lot. It was mostly kind of like a fandom thing. I just liked a lot of the character designs, but I had not watched the movie properly at that point. And then I don't know if I ever watched it properly at that point. I can't remember because I'm stinky and I don't remember if I had or not. If I have or not, sorry. I am like losing my mind. Somebody help me. But I know last year So I'm sorry, I love saying that because it's like the first of January 2026, and now I can say 2025 was all in the past. But like last year, I watched both, like the first, like It Chapter 1 and 2, same night, with work the next day. So it was awesome, and I definitely think that deciding to watch the movie in both movies in full later in life, especially with like Pennywise trending and everything again, definitely super smart move. Genuinely, really smart move because I can better understand the themes and the just all the effort and stuff put into these movies a lot better now than I probably would have at like as like a kid.
Wow, if that's what it thinks, that's safe for work content. That means it's good. At least for my windshields, anyway.
Oh,
Okay, this took me over an hour to get right. It's so many complications. It wasn't funny. So this is now my fourth time playing it today. That's right, fourth time. It took me over an hour to do, but way worth it.
I erased way too much on the sides. This is gonna sound so out of pocket considering that like I haven't talked about work in a second. But as much as I do rant about the things that happen at my job or just talk about my day, including like the negative aspects, I do genuinely love my job. I'm actually very happy with it, and I can imagine myself working there for like a long time. I'm genuinely very happy with my job. I think I'm very happy with where my life is currently at the moment. I do think that there are a lot of things that I can do to improve. Like as a person and just like like my life in general. But I'm actually very happy with as frustrated as I can get and everything. I'm definitely very happy with my life. At this moment in time, I do think I am. I personally believe I'm very happy. I've actually been um maybe this is like TMI, and I don't know if this breaks Twitch's terms of service to talk about, but I've actually been like um self harm free for a while now. I, for context, I struggled with like self harm and stuff for a very very long time, on and off, and like especially like last year in 2024 and everything. Even if like things were going smoothly in my life, I would hurt myself. Like minor emotions, minor feelings, schizophrenic meltdowns, um, just being sad, being like feeling like I'm not feeling any real emotion. I would just hurt myself, and I would just be constantly, especially on like my deep private account on Twitter. I would talk all about it, not post photos or anything, but I struggled a lot, and I've been clean for a little bit. I haven't really done anything to myself or my body for a while, like a good short amount of time, I'd say. I've been very clean, and it's not simply just because I'm busy with work. I really haven't had any thoughts or like extreme urges to do that to myself. But I also feel that maybe me constantly eating ice and cornstarch is distracting my brain from wanting to do bad stuff to myself because I instead have something else to crave that is a little less harmful. haven't had any cornstarch this year. Pad, you get it? You get the joke because it's 2026, so I haven't had any cornstarch. But actually, a couple days before Christmas, I had officially finished my the container I bought at the beginning, like near like the end of November. I bought a new container of cornstarch to eat out of, and I would just eat spoonfuls of it. I would lick it. I'd use like a straw to suck it up and stuff. And close to Christmas, I officially finished the container, and I decided that I wasn't gonna get a new container at all for the rest of the month. So far, I'm doing pretty good. I'm craving really bad, so I might end up like just ordering some and bringing it to my house later today or tomorrow. We'll have to see. But I did order some cornstarch chunks online around the time that I was about to finish the container. So it may take a while for those to get here, but so far I'm doing pretty good in not eating cornstarch. When I do get my hands on it, I'm gonna try not to eat so much of it, because I actually haven't gained really any weight from eating cornstarch. I think I've lost weight, if anything. Like, if anything, I've definitely lost weight over gaining any. I've definitely lost a lot of weight, actually, since graduating high school. I've lost a lot of weight. Not in the sense that I'm super underweight or anything. I don't believe I am. I have to check my weight again. But I'm not skin and bones like I was for the majority of my, like just about all of middle school and a good chunk of high school. I'm definitely not skin and bones, which is really good. I eat a lot, and I do eat. It's not like I'm just snacking and just not eating for long periods of time. I am eating. I eat Cobb salads, I eat pizza, chicken, I eat whatever my mom tends to make for dinner. I do snack. I eat plenty of stuff. I eat plenty of veggies and meats and grains and dairy. I eat a lot of that. It's a little inconsistent, so it's not like every day I'm eating like a super balanced meal. I do eat a lot of unhealthy stuff. That I can admit. But I'm not close to overweight like I was, but I'm also not underweight like I was. My worst fear is losing a bunch of weight and losing my beautiful butt. I'm very scared about losing my butt. I don't want to lose it. It's beautiful. It's my best attribute. I feel like if I start testosterone, I'm gonna get a very nice butt. My dog is awake. He woke up. Hi, baby. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, there he goes. He's spinning around. You go back to sleep. In my house right now is just my parents, me, and my dog. Both my siblings, both my sisters, they're having sleepovers with their friends. So they left before I even, way before I got home. So the Boom is sleeping in my room. He slept in my room the last couple nights, and he throws a tantrum because he doesn't want to go to bed. Because he wants to go to my sister's room, but she's not there. So whenever he is let in, he leaves. Not too long later. But he's pretty chilled out. Yeah, he was asleep for a while. He was asleep when I started the stream, but he had been asleep for a hot minute. But he woke up. I don't know. I don't think it was me that woke him up, because I wasn't really rustling around or anything. He's just chilling. Oh, and he's big yawn. Oh, he's so sleepy. He's genuinely so important to me. This guy, this sweet little boy. Sweet little boy. He's so tired. Yeah, he's had a very long day of just being cute. Why are you being cute? I swear, I feel like nobody's ever gonna know what the fuck I'm talking about when I say that. It's a Drag Race reference. Why you being cute? There's so many freaking references that I want to make around people, but half of them will never know what the fuck I'm talking about. Because fucking Because fucking yeah, okay, whatever. Because a lot of my coworkers are like older than me, but not like, oh, it's like, oh, I don't know what social media is apparently, but more like, I don't really get these memes. Some of them do, some of them do. Some of them understand like the more niche stuff. Some of them understand only like the more popular stuff, which is,
Essentially almost 100% what it
pretty
is.
normal, pretty normal.
Yeah, like she'll deny that, but based on how she's used Essentia over the years, how she talks about her, the fact that she was actually her main World of Warcraft character for a while, the fact that if you were to take how she compares her and Hallie and Essentia side by side, they're basically the same personality.
Sidebar. Building also operating for safety disparaging its mods and perfect the entire game as Essentia. These screenshots of the character are again fitting for canon description. But not all of Lynn's characters are derived entirely from fiction. In the first entry of Stockholm Queen Stockholm, there was a character named Fire Brand. This character, while inherently fictional, is the creation and representation of Josh Gordon, the creator of that later recognized as one. As for Stockholm, the first entry of the series revolves around character named Dash, one playing a bit of virtuous. The character, built canonically female, known as Venus, is described as possessed and has no control of plots and minds. In the story, she approaches Dr. Firebrand about cancer. Firebrand then makes the connection that necrophilia is because she is possessed. The doctor also states, quote, I would recommend that you relax and enjoy your fantasies. Firebrand simply smiled. You'll find that once you do, you'll be feeling less guilty about yourself, and less likely to think that you something regret. Think about how you feel if one of those girls were over at Halloween beside you. What you have the security of knowing you go upstairs and take care of yourself once they left. You'll feel more relaxed and secure. Unquote. It is important to note that this suit happens after Rainbow Dash solely actions have
What are you doing, puppy?
and then proceeded to pleasure herself. Though his characters are
You being cute.
the artist right.
He is so this dog is so freaking important to me. He's the cutest little shithead in the whole world. I love him to death, even when he gets on my nerves. He's a big baby. And I love my baby. He's a good boy.
Lily has a fixation on the age of 14. Because you got the whole Rainbow Dash and Scootaloo situation in Stockholm, where Scootaloo was 14. You have the Tom Ryan Pinkie Pie stuff. There was the Rarity and Sweetie Belle in Stockholm.
Virtually all characters within every entry are equally individuals. Even the minors might have different flaws. One of them, Dash at the entry states, quote, when she's changing, looking in the shower, or trying to be alone. Even when I started questioning you, I was still smiling at my sister. And sometimes I still run away. The minor that's saying this never can stand that Rainbow Dash in the first entry saw that. What was about to see her lost in the series wise. And this entry was also given to the work that they was up here being comfortable. Prescribed Redcast, specific kind of baritone, which is antipsychotic. Something that like it can't find because she was institutionalized. Also in the story, Rainbow Dash imagines a young woman, who she initially named Kirby, but then later renamed CL. Initially imagined because CL manages to slowly and inexplicably turn cold. The issue with her turning into another person is that she repeats the quote, okay, as much as I want to be real, I certainly don't want to go down to every Dash, but still, unquote. This is what Stalking is. Czar, Tess, and the Bride in Canada. First and foremost, the child in Stalking is described as anyone under the age of 18, and as Lily clearly defines it with the most traits, they are, quote, visual works of imagination, unquote. And being imaginary, this kind of writing is not exactly illegal. It becomes too late to female, and by her own words, she refers to the it contains, quote, scenes of violence, sexual conduct, depictions of domestic abuse, depictions of mental illness, depictions of pedophilia, mentions of trafficking, and incorrect depictions of an intersex person, negative depictions of the psychiatry, depictions of toxic relationships, and other such objectionable conduct, unquote. Here, Lily is again admitting to writing porn, apologizing for how she framed herself in visions, but as her work is discovered and criticized, she's not listening to her point.
Her narrative of that has changed quite a bit. Like at first she was proud she wrote it. She started mentioning it on Tumblr. She was talking about it for years. She set up a whole separate Tumblr specifically for it, and then she went from, oh, I did write it, but other people edited it really graphic and scenes that I would never share because the length of that would shift from, oh, it was 4chan, oh, it was Josh Gordon, oh, the girl needs to be managed, oh, it was music, and now it was like she didn't write it, she didn't write the sex scenes, other people did, and like Lily just basically felt like she was trying to go less than that.
Though Lily did write Stockholm, it is also true that she was a first-time author. Nintendo Bell was fired for early works. The Stockholm series CGI rating in 2015 and 2015. Darkest Night Rating, Nintendo Bell was fired despite expressing how the writing is affecting her. In Just Made by 16, she responded to a question asked me by Goldmark, stating, quote, that's a personal moment for me, but other people like it, that's fine. It's not exactly free will as projected, but it's not me. That's all it is. But in the coming months, she had a change of heart, and she was called to write Stockholm. As revealed, it was to convince me of Lily. Quote, we thought things down and managed to convince her to write the final as happy and Rainbow Dash as a happy, but only idea. I feel like managed this. Unquote. Nintendo Bell is fine, given those expresses the burning by the story. Quote, it evolves to CNC, and it was swallowed. I would read all my original characters from years ago and ever write a recap again. I didn't just hate how the scene played. I felt physically uncomfortable when they were writing. It wasn't just uncomfortable, it was painful. All about Stockholm, the worst I developed was sad. Now sad, I can handle that perfectly fine. Even descriptions of domestic abuse, while unnerving, weren't graphic grim and really fair that happened. Yes, essentially terrifying for the story, but I can also have fear. But physical discomfort from writing this being so terrible, not point painful. Anyway, I was honest enough for it to tears. Thankfully, Balls understood and offered everything less. Turned out so much better.
Oh, that's why. I'm dumb. I was like, why is it not coloring?
I tried to reach out to her once, and I don't think she wants anything to do with this statement. Like, I know she was incredibly uncomfortable to the point of having emotional breakdowns when she was
pretty good. I'd say this looks pretty good. I like this. I like this a lot. I do. I think I did a pretty good job. In my opinion, in my opinion, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna color the line right for this one, but I think I'll do it for the blonde hair. Oh.
Granted, that will only last for a few months, but when you find out why I only lasted a few months, you will understand why.
One of those others time in college years. Experience movies on gas and probably very specific again, being these people over here.
Now, it would be one thing if Pete was just verbally and emotionally abusive, but unfortunately, he had to take the next fucking step and be sexually abusive. You see, sometime in October of 2013, he approached me on Skype, talking about money troubles and conveniently mentioning how Tara was camphering to me and to me. And I suggested that he do the same because in my defense, I mentioned that there are so many of his fans who are attracted to him. He, just like before, turned around on me and made it all about how I wanted to see him and refused to take no for an answer, continuing to bother me until I finally caved. This means that he coerced me, not consent, by the way. I don't care where you are, or who different from. Did you want to do straight Montana?
Lloyd goes on to say, Whitney has been left by him, leaving a pass taking all the truth. Lloyd also claims Lloyd Gordon and Tyler makes him look unpleasant. It also brings up Snowball.
This work was so disgusting that Nintendo Gal, who we mentioned before as being Pete's co-writer, voiced her own distaste for the direction the fic was taking and got fired for it.
Lloyd goes into other details, saying that this.
The second question that is most likely on everyone's mind is, Blake, why have you been referring to Jerry as Jerry and she and oops, I got a little ahead of myself, he in this video? Whitney came out as transgender months ago and changed her name to Lily. Are you by chance friends with him? The answer is no, I am not. That Pete is using transgenderism to avoid criticism for their actions and to essentially get away with advocating murder.
Lloyd meets up, that Lily is a transgender who doesn't choose this life. Though Lily also claims that Lily has such strong opposition, she made communities to put a deep in the part of it, and so Blake's reasoning doesn't give up. Regardless, Lily was under attack, and on the Tumblr, she began quoting her arrogance. The quotes dealing with power and fame. She was also posting images of advocating for lifestyle. This is how she was abused her feelings, yet making something else to defend herself in this conversation. Mysteriously, right as Lily and Arrogance writing were being examined. Contents, we have more of the film, the account that Arrogance of the intimidation report, a mother's love, and was imagined close life. A strange happening, considering that by Lily's testimony, she was revealed. Logan Campbell said, like, starting 2017, Pete's expressed her appreciation to who wants to dogs to arrest. Adding, he says that Williams was not Frisbee, and August that now that there are naming Pete's video request wanted on the run. Seeing this, Andy Frisbee answered Brad to her phone, asking what he did with Frisbee continued, which he responded, quote, I only put it up on because they have considerable presence with that video, unquote. Your friends seem to understand that Mark did not have much to do with the video being so long, quote, okay, but in the future, we do not use all, unquote. It was
What
responding,
the
quote, I'll think about it, unquote. At some point after, Andy Frisbee allegedly contacted me directly. But when you remember the time Andy Frisbee allegedly sniped her, which is when Lily sent her a screenshot of her and claimed that it credited her comments. The story then became public, and there was a small outcry where reviews including the hashtag respect artists directly confirmed it. Lily responded in two ways. First, she made tweets that included the hashtag. Second, she told Andy Frisbee that it was informed and she should file with the MCA. This is a copyright process that was simply down. And so Andy Frisbee filed with the MCA and effectively took it down. Lily then filed with the DA back. A process that won't be stopped by a lawsuit which will be highly unlikely. On a topic was finding the press about under a
Oh,
video
that's the wrong layer.
in the post states, quote, remember
I mean, that's the wrong color.
Everyone who watches this video, do not go and leave death threats or harassment on Lily's video. That's not acceptable under any circumstances. What about the second video that Lily also showed? This seems to be a bit more of a genuine mention, where Josh even attributes the video to Tommy's endeavors. But in small Ellen's theories and Tommy's story. And if you also check the front page of his Tumblr, deaths. Stress for nothing. From the Master of Foxes, how I flew off the handle at you guys again. Because you recentered death threats. Now you're doing it for Balsall. Lily never used such an express that was hiding this bar and never used copies for selection. For example, her Rock Video has 120,000 views, yet only 30 were comments. He likes on virtually all comments out of the comments. All of these comments are suspiciously all positive, except for this one where he asked, quote, what believes Lily YouTube ratio is like ratio? He could respond, quote, no, the like/dislike ratio is Lily has been error.
He's up. He wants to go bye-bye, but he needs to stay in his bed.
really sexy. You want to have a 14-year-old girl. In 2018, Korea's two British parties may also be decided. This is supposed to add more growth to global economy. The news initially spread on its opinions and the press, and so the private column means our story and 2 other members had to get 2 days to solve it. The news was
Look, I made a stupid mistake, or I'm trying to fucking change from that. I did it, alright? I did some stupid stuff.
If I may explain as calmly as possible, a mistake is saying something inappropriate. A mistake is calling someone the wrong gender nowadays. What you did is a crime. Well, what you did was drastically and so not this fall, the police often had to investigate two British subjects. Watson would initially agree to the he did not react well, then wanted to verify any actually happened in space. Because what's going to happen is after the 24 hours, we will still be contacting the police. Now, if you've done it before us, then, they'll just be asking for the information they need to follow through with the case.
You'll let me do this.
No boomer. think this looks pretty good.
If I can take this Uber sadist and diapers and loving patriarch that highlights Fluttershy when it comes to sincere kindness, I'm pretty sure you can make an allegory. You can make a good story out of it. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have more mommy's eyes than yours. Thank you.
Okay. Bald. Bald. Okay. Oh, I don't need that open yet. Okay, I don't need... No, I do need that. I don't need this one anymore. Yeah, he won't listen. He is whining. He's very unhappy. He's furious right now.
Things that cannot and should not be forbidden, and yet it insists on doing them anyway. Steven Universe is that mother who tells her daughter, oh, that boy pulls your hair because he likes you, tacitly teaching them that affection shown through violence. Do I think Rebecca Sugar is a fascist sympathizer? No. Do I believe anybody who comes to the conclusion that she is based on Steven Universe's conduct?
I am going to be... I will be right back. I do actually have to tinkle. Excuse me. I'll be right back, guys. Okay, I am back. I was messing with some Oop, I think I hit my mic with my knee. But I was messing with a couple whiteheads that I had formed. Mainly just kind of like on like the tip of my nose and stuff. So it took me a little bit longer.
Which is not exactly the case, but that lets more into reflections of the show. The issue with Lily is that in her own fanfictions, when she was descending, Lily undoubtedly refused irrefutable genocidal characters, and it was not just in this writing that Lily did this.
If you go through pretty much every other one of her fanfics, that's a common thing with her main characters. They're always genocidal maniacs ready to be something. From Lord Ryder, from her original Family Guy fanfictions, to Essentia, to Aliana in her Star Wars fics, like it's always a genocidal maniac ready to be something.
Lily was having main character year. In October, she states she was a victim to main character crime, and then in December, she announced that Lizzie and Ray broke up. A breakup that seemingly came out of nowhere. And then Lily stated that Lizzie had swatted her, and this was her third swatting. But as Lily was further questioned, it became more likely that these were just famous checks. The following day, Lily made it clear that Lizzie was a wonderful person, and it makes it clear that she was not abused by her. And so Lily stated she had a lonely Christmas. Whereas now in January of 2019, possibly seemed to state Lily was trying to prevent things, but Lily was not. They break up. The situation with Josh Torture, her falling out with Patchwork, criticisms around the season numerous video, all influences that hit 2018 off with Lily spouting her vitriol. The way this was different was that she was not exactly campaigning against any individual person, or rather sporadically attacking virtually everyone. From her parents, her sister, a creator that likely criticized her. Things were even going for the south with Lizzie. As Lily was stating, they were no longer on speaking terms. This year for Lily was pure chaos. Not only was she sporadically attacking anyone at will, but also her sexual deviance had also taken new form. What started as posting images and poses as per fans' requests turned into images of her posting her bare breasts. Even her claims were getting wilder. She called different controversial cartoon viewer a fascist, stated that people that dislike Antifa are Nazis, called Rebecca Sugar an accidental Nazi apologist, and then stated in response to her claim recast that fascism is the core of being conservative, and then ties it all back to the universe and Rebecca Sugar. While Lily's attacks were ineffective due to her overall lack of evidence for her claims and her overall lack of credibility, there was one attack that showed important sense. Though Patchwork and Lily were not on good terms, Lily called Patchwork, quote, a dishonest, drug-addicted nutcase, unquote, was a poor move considering what Patchwork had on Lily. As a direct response, Patchwork brings this rather lengthy Twitter thread against Lily, and at the end of the thread, Patchwork states, quote, you're a cruel, selfish, awful person, Lily, and I might be a drug-addicted delusional schizo, but at the very least, I can pressure someone to draw my wife's favorite OC, having incestuous dog sex, unquote. Looking at Patchwork's main arc, she states that she doesn't do that kind of art, but Lily was an exception because it was as Patchwork believes. He told her, quote, the only thing that alleviates her dysphoria, unquote. And though these various drawings of a dog and Lily cannot be shown, they very much exist and are unfortunately detailed. Lily responded to her commission of these images with a long-winded and detailed answer, possibly a choice done to avoid the direct connection between what these drawings detail and what Eric Kelly states she did cause. Besides the motivation for Lily's green imagery, there was also another reason why Lily requested this art.
And the reason she had those commissions was to get back at Lizzie. Like that's Lizzie's character that she took out.
Lily had already found Ian Barter, an artist that started webcomic with Lily. Lily began character's comic and started with her girlfriend Kayla, and as the name Pokemon now suggests, that takes place in the Pokemon universe. With an extensive catalog of Pokemon to choose from, Lily has only ever been obsessed with one, which is also at the center of the comic, and it is this Gardevoir energy. The Gardevoir, early in the comic, expressed a love for Lily. This is not love as would be counted friendship, and not a love that would be counted family. This is a love of a sexual nature. Lily and her Gardevoir even expressed a desire to have kids, but genetically cannot. But they still obtain a child from lab experiment that results in a human Gardevoir hybrid. The Gardevoir also tells Lily that she made a quote-unquote love bond with Lily recently, the extent of my stand. Lily's character doesn't initially react well to pointing out something wildly interesting, but Lily still essentially rejects the Gardevoir. This comic will go on for quite some time. You, like your other words, to express your desires, whether they are of a sexual nature or revenge. It is not a coincidence that there is a strip where one of Lily's exes, with the trademark mobile hair that Lizzie has, is villainized as an awful woman who broke Lily's heart in the Christmas season. This is because Lily went from referencing Lily as a creepy person to a paranoid user. In response to someone asking Lily how she can move on so fast with Nancy, Lily stated, quote, bitch, have you met her? Unquote. What escalated Lily's hatred of Lizzie was Lizzie is Camber showing concern of a Tumblr of Lily because there was early and heavy direction. Quote, I know she's probably fine and that it isn't any of my business to be worried. It just popped into my head. Unquote. Lily responded to this information with, quote, Lizzie came a lot closer to killing me than her ever could have at times. Don't know why she plans to get shit TH. Unquote. Lily has found her new audience to harass. After Lizzie deleted her Tumblr, likely due to harassment of Lily, someone immediately speaked up for her URL and changed the header to the word orgasm. Here in a post that stated, quote, hi, can I get a fucking user? Anyways, one, the way you read these is live, and well, two, my name is at the new box Laura at 3. If you want your email back, message me on there. Unquote. Lily, after being informed that her fans ran Lizzie off Tumblr, stated, quote, correction. Lizzie ran herself off Tumblr after chatting shit and being able to mess with backlash. Everything was fine for her until she decided to call me talking about her quote-unquote public villainization, and no doubt was met with a bellstorm criticism. If you can't handle being dragged for saying stupid shit, don't say stupid shit. Unquote. This tension did die down for a few months, and Lizzie did mention at the end of the year that this year many people decided to hate her. As for Lily, at the start of 2020, she announced her engagement with Kayla, and would from time to time respond to questions about Lizzie. What her ire for a period was instead set on heterosexual people calling them filthy, and in this goes referring to straight people as dirty goblins. And then 2 months later, Lily once again called in on Lizzie. Quote, being with Lizzie caused me to develop anxiety and insecurity issues I previously didn't have, and those that go away easily. Unquote. Lily would persistently reject Lizzie, even year after Those clips were from a video that has garnered over 1 million views from 2 writers going over Lily's 100 writing tips, and as they find out, some of the advice isn't even about writing. Walter, don't argue with him, don't defend him, don't treat him with respect. Walter, don't defend him. No,
This is great advice! Oh my god! How can Twitter is not a good place to talk about your stories.
the individual 100 tweets are both analyzed in this video and at the very end categorized where about 1 of them are not considered great advice. Lily's tips have received so much ridicule that by December the entire thread was gone, and possibly correlated to the rate of attention, Lily turned Tumblr asks Tom. For a while, Lily's Tumblr asks, particularly the ones that come from anonymous source, are thought to be Lily asking herself questions in order to convey her thoughts on the matter without hearing from another vote. One of the questions is about Lizzie or anyone else she despises, and for that reason, he asked to take no time at all to come back. On December 7th, now 2 years since the breakup, Lizzie tweeted out, quote, I decided to try speaking openly about my history with my ex. I've tried to maintain respectful silence for 2 years now, to let us both move on with our lives. But in turn, she's used that to spread disparaging comments and outright lies about me. Unquote. This tweet chain was Lizzie stating that she was going to speak the truth when it was appropriate. Lily, when asked back on, responding to a question about why she agrees Lizzie was abusive, stated that Lizzie was abusive by, quote, a lot of consistent behavior that made me really think Lizzie was sensitive. That line comes across. I've always described that relationship as, quote, a slow and systemic destruction of vicarious self-worth, unquote, and that's not an exaggeration, unquote. Lizzie's split on her was more descriptive in how Lily had wronged her. She opens with talking about how we had a mostly abusive relationship and therefore intimate relationship. Lily was always casual and then pushing her boundaries. The large point of contention was the yarn. Quote, I was drawing the bottom suggested art for her, usually of the 2 of us, sometimes of just me. Digital News had drawn sex tapes, and maybe this would have been a problem if I had absolutely hated every second of it, and she knew that. I tried to tell her I wasn't competent, and sometimes she refused to listen, but that's where the guilt and some pressure would come in. She knew the ways to ask me that felt weird to refuse, because of the reasons prior to her that we discussed here. It also felt beneficial to mental health to do that. Unquote. Lizzie then describes that the camping head when she was drawing the camera for Lily layers too much and she broke down on camera. In a follow-up tweet, with drawings essentially depictions of herself, Lizzie states if Lily releases them, she will possibly sue as NCT and them. Lily essentially responded with these 2 posts. In this post, she believes she was gaslit by Lizzie in a relationship as important to mention in her account. In the second post, she states that Lizzie would not stand tall for her after this. Not just related things Lizzie mentioned in her post, as she sometimes did things she hated about the basement in order to try to please Lily. As for Lily, she now believed Lizzie would, quote, be on all Brett's fears and shit talking these 2 about, unquote. Lily then, in her post, stated that people only believe contradicting claims because they convenient in a narrative to dislike her. This back and forth continued well in January 2021. The question was put forth as to why Lily kept last name Orchard, which is Lizzie's last name, a choice done to show her commitment to their prior engagement. Lily responded by stating that it was reverse colonialism, but Lily still not backing down because Lily was saying no longer. Now Lily has a propensity to treat people well with her friends, and regards relationships as terrible and abusive the moment it is turned. Though Lily did not have much, if any strong feelings against Lizzie did have quite a bit more to say, starting with Lily, quote, had started a political campaign on her blog. Her followers would tell her second legal thing to her, quote, in consequence of the environment. Needless to say, I was shocked and extremely uncomfortable with my fiancé doing this and asking me about it first, unquote. Lizzie, when this took place in 2016, acquired feelings to Lily, but Lily disregarded them because it was her thing. Quote, my ex gave further reasons as to why she liked it, which were similar to why she pressured me into drawing the images for the last story. This quote-unquote game made her feel attractive and desirable in ways her mind didn't typically allow, and made her feel good about herself, unquote. Lizzie then states she allowed Lily to begin the game because she felt guilty. Lizzie also admits that she wasn't always forward in her feelings, even when asked by Lily. Then states that she believes Lily knew her true feelings, but just did not care at all. This only allowed me to suggest that, quote, this went on for 2 months, from New Year's Eve to my birthday. On my 20th birthday, in the middle of calling my parents, I checked on my account and saw Lily returning to my ex, full-blown sensitive people, roleplay sensitive, unquote. Lizzie then threatened to break up with Lily, which is when she became forceful and apologized to her, and Lily stopped those asks and deleted that Tumblr. Lizzie then claims that this was so sensitive that Lily told her if it came out that she was working for an audience, it could, quote, end her YouTube career, unquote. Later, Lizzie did post evidence of this game. This was largely held for announcing the Tumblr that she had delete. As for Lily, she was once again asked for evidence, and Lily gave away evidence, including full screenshots. The first is after the breakup with Lizzie, stating that Lily helped her in some ways. The second and third
Yeah, I think like moving the hair to the side actually fixed this a lot. For the most part, I think.
Overall, this post adds nothing. Lily, not convincing the populace, stated on Twitter that Lizzie was roughly mob against her, not claiming that she was an abuse ex. It was then that Lily made her quit on her, explaining how Lizzie was abusive. And during their period of dysphoria, their sex life was virtually non-existent, and Lizzie pressured Lily to get her sex life back on track. Quote, on 3 occasions, during visits, the field trips and cushions grew too much of their entertainment. It was some of the worst experiences of my life. It wouldn't be until years later that my therapist and friends listened to the story and told me that I'd been assaulted, unquote. This back and forth once again died down for a period. Now, Lily calling people fascists or Nazi indiscriminately led to the question, what's Lily's definition of a Nazi? To her, it's any combination of these things. In a follow-up post, Lily then agrees that asking people to define Nazis in turn makes them a Nazi. Lily was being more erratic. On Tumblr, a user asked to see her breasts. Lily then replied and posted a link to them. In that never, she decided to attack Joshua Trujillo, stating that posting what is positive Stockholm means that he was spreading his belief. Continuing her hypocritical writing nature, she was asking for Rose to die for sexualizing ponies, even though she's extremely guilty of such a thing. She then tweeted that Rose would never wish it. Lily then made a claim that Lizzie sexually assaulted her in the worst way possible. Lizzie responded, quote, who cares, honestly. Everyone outside the little corner of the internet knows that this is all lies. Just me and your ex on a relentless smear campaign, unquote. As for Lily, her mental state was not getting any better.
Fuck, I turned the light off. Jesus! Why do I like this? What?
exactly how fat a fidget I am? That was from an April 2021 Minecraft stream. The only reaction to this. Anyway, this other stream title is Heating Arts, Friendship, and Skill Exploitation. In this stream, she also talks about her inherently named character Jane, and her mother being displeased that she was not as tan as she could be. I mean, like, well, my mother, I don't know why, I know why she's such an issue with my mother. Maybe my mother is David, and I don't think for sure. So she got real bummed up her ass about the fact that, because of the situation I'm working, I don't do a lot of stuff. I live in an in-ground apartment. Lily was streaming more and more, and flashing more and more. But I've been on camera a few times. I used to be on camera stream a lot. I haven't done it in a long time. The last time I was on camera on stream, that stream got taken down because I flashed my boobs so many times. You're lucky they don't see my boobs. This video was likely not taken down by YouTube, or rather really before YouTube took it down. This is because nudity for sexual gratification is against YouTube rules. And if the video was a button up and gave the YouTube team one that look into it, Lily would be punished. This is an awful way to use live streaming on YouTube, where smaller creators can make evidence of hunting and circumvent the algorithm. Lily was clearly looking for sexual gratification, and in further streams was looking for even more than that. Well, I'm in Halifax. Halifax, Nova Scotia. That's the area I'm in. I'm not going to be more specific. I mean, if you want to meet up, then drop me a line somewhere. If you're local or in the area, you want to meet up, just drop me a line. Chloe was still in a relationship with Kayla. As seen recently, she was going to visit Lily, but it appears that after the relationship and her soon to be married. Steve and Kayla getting married 3 days in a row.
Oh, wait, I want to see if maybe it'll look like good with. It does. It actually looks pretty good hidden behind the hair. I think I'll be fine with it being like this, like with it. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I think I'm officially done for the most part with everything. Yeah. And it's like 4 a.m. So, and I'm getting pretty sleepy. So I am going to just, chill out and everything. But this is kind of basically the finished thing. When I dye my hair brown, I'll switch it to this, but I haven't dyed my hair yet, so it's probably just gonna be purple with the roots because, excuse me, sorry.
Don't spam. If you don't have anything to say, don't say anything. But when you spam the chat with every single stupid question underlined that you can easily find out just by looking around, I have to take time away from working on the video to ban your spammy